Hello there, welcome to my channel, The Jack of All Dans, where I will talk about and teach what skills and crafts I've learned over the years, as well as learn new skills and hone those skills, from stoneworking all the way to robotics. I invite you to join me as we travel through time and history as I become the true Jack of all trades. To start off, what I really want to do with this channel is to learn as many new skills as I can, as well as be a gateway for others to learn skills. I hope to make learning these new skills and crafts as easy and fluid as possible. One of the goals of this channel is to create a series of videos where I go from the Stone Age to the modern age, adhering to the materials and technology available at those times, but not necessarily the techniques. Say, for example, I'm in the Bronze Age and I want to make a certain tool. I can use techniques from the Iron Age, Steel Age, and so on, as long as the materials and the technology was available at that time. So I can't use electricity, but I can use a bellows as opposed to a manually blown tier made of copper or wood or what have you. I can't use materials like iron to create that bellows. So I still have to use copper or whatever materials I have available to me in that tier of technology. So I'm going to start off with the Stone Age. This is going to probably be the hardest age for me personally to learn, because I have zero experience working with stones, flint knapping, pecking and grinding, and I'll be going over both of those techniques. Currently, flint knapping is going to be a little inaccessible to me to a degree. So, living in Colorado, locally sourcing flint and chert, which is what was most commonly used for Stone Age tools, is not going to be easy. Being on a limited budget and limited time, I can't really order any sizable amounts of chert or flint right now. I'm going to have to rockhound and locally source at state parks where you're allowed to gather materials like stones and such, as long as you're not selling them commercially. Now, if I wanted to do that or wanted to get specific types of stones or gemstones or what have you, I could go onto private property and with permission, and buy whatever I find. There are mines and privately owned areas that have jasper, which is a good material for flint knapping. So I'm kind of limited to quartz, quartzite, and some stone, some flakeable stone that'll hold an edge somewhat. The other technique that I can also use for larger tools like a hand axe or an adze is pecking and grinding. But there's plenty of examples historically of both types of tools. Both have their advantages and disadvantages. Can't really make a very sharp knife that you could really do much cutting with the peck and grind technique, but you can get sharp enough pieces out of real small flakes of quartz and quartzite, like this. It's a little piece of quartz get a good edge on. Or the slate. I actually was able to cut leather with this earlier. Created a little flint knapping pad. The majority of my tools are going to be peck and grind, which takes a lot of time. So I probably won't show all of the tools I'll be making, but I'll show the techniques and how to do most tools. I'm going to be limiting myself to a certain amount of tools that I need to make before I can attempt to move on to the next tech age. So, for example, while in the Stone Age, I need to be able to make a hand axe, an adze, knives, be able to cut leather, and be able to create wooden tools too. Then use the tools from there on to gather copper ore. I can't really locally source the copper ore, and being on a budget, I can't really order any copper ore. So I am going to cheat a little bit, and I'm going to use just scrap copper. But I do have to have the limitation of melting the copper and generating an ingot of copper before I can then move on to creating copper tools. And from there on, I can then create bronze tools, and that'll essentially set me into the Bronze Age. And then I can move on and create Bronze Age technology. And I'll require of myself to create in the Bronze Age, say, bows and bladed tools and hammers and clothing even, because at that point creating cloth will actually be feasible with Bronze Age tools. So I'm sure many who are watching this know I'm not the first one to attempt this, nor will I be the last, I'm sure. There is a channel called How to Make Everything, and they started off learning how to make stone tools, glass, copper, bronze, iron, modern things, paper, what have you, and then they hit a reset button. I'm getting a lot of my ideas from their channel. So if you're interested in a more historically accurate and more detailed explanation and run through of these technologies, check out their channel. I'm not collaborating with them. I'm not affiliated with them by any means. I just wanted to shout out to them. I've gotten a lot of my ideas for this series from their series, doing very similar things, but I want to focus more on the teaching aspect of us learning how to do these things, not necessarily historically accurately. And I'm also going to be providing probably the most economical way to go about doing these things and learning these skills, making mistakes so you don't have to. Now, the ultimate goal of the series is to get into the modern age, and then from there on be able to delve into robotics and maybe some rocketry. I don't know, aerodynamics. That's a long ways away. So in another video, I'm going to actually go over the techniques you use for flint knapping and for pecking and grinding stones and such. What tools you need to use, the very minimum tools you need. Because again, I'm starting from square one. I have no tools right now outside of maybe some knife stones. there are going to be some materials and tools that I'm not going to locally source. I just can't. Leather being one of them. Whoever's watching, if you have a tool or an item that you've always been curious about how it's made, ask me. I may make it. I may look into how it's made and do the research and try my hand at making it, so you can see it without having to take the time and effort to do it yourself, without first seeing, okay, is it feasible for me to do it? Can I do it? Can I afford to do it? And at my skill level, can I do it? I believe that anyone can do just about anything within reason. It just takes effort, time, and patience. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I hope you join me next time as I travel through time and history, learning new skills and trades. Goodbye.